Well, hello everybody, BugEater64 here, and today we are going to do a flight from Grand Cayman Island to Cancun. And we're going to be flying the DC3, and it's going to be very interesting because we started out in one sim and ended up in another sim, and the whole flight was done nicely. It was okay. But I ended up not flying my favorite DC3 in any of the flight sims. So, anyway, it's also an FS Airlines flight, so we did make a little bit of money for the virtual airline. Plus, wanted to use ATC VATSIM, and unfortunately there were no controllers on. But as usual, what I do when there are no controllers is I go ahead and make my call outs to try to get more comfortable and also to learn the flow a little bit better. And so that's what this flight was about, and basically just to have some real fun. So let's get in the cockpit of the aircraft, let's get this thing started, and let's tell you the story. See you inside. Alright, here, we tried to fly a flight today using Microsoft Flight Simulation and Aeroplane Heaven DC3, which is a very nice model, but unfortunately we weren't able to do that because after our last Microsoft update, in that red circle you hear that clicking and see that little knob. Well, that's the tail wheel lock, and that is not functioning, and it also makes it act silly when you're trying to use the aircraft. So we switched over CJX700 ready for taxi to X-Plane 12 and the VSkyLabs with the G1000 suite in it, and are also trying to do this flight with VATSIM. Unfortunately there is no controllers on duty right now, so we're just doing our call outs to practice as we try to get better at it. Also had to start the VSkyLabs aircraft with engines running because I can't get both engines to start using the procedures. I can get one to start, but not the second one. And it doesn't seem to matter which one I start with. So we just went ahead and started the flight using with the engines up and running, and you can see we're trying to get used to it. Tail wheel is locked. Usually when I'm flying in X-Plane, I use the freeware AeroWorks C47 DC3. It's actually my favorite of any of the DC3 modules. I think it is the most realistic in appearance, and it also is just a beautifully rendered aircraft. My hats off to AeroWorks, who have done a great job with this aircraft ever since they came out with it. So with that being said, we're going to fly the VSkyLabs version today to do this flight and just have a little bit of fun. So buckle up, sit back, relax, and let's get into the air and just enjoy the day. The weather's not too bad. We are going to have some wind. It's variable and light right now. So here at Grand Cayman, they don't have any actual taxiway, so we have to back taxi down the runway, and we'll be taking off from runway 26. So we'll get down to the end here, turn around, and line up for takeoff. Okay, so let's go ahead and set up. We got flight plans there. Okay. And let's see, we want vertical speed. There. Not yet. Okay. Altitude 8,000. Okay, looks like we're good. There's no wind. Okay. So, we are set. Let's get the flaps down. 1/4. Grand Cayman traffic. CGX 700. Lined up. Taking off runway 26, Grand Cayman traffic. Whoa. Boy, that picked up quick. Alright, gear up. Yeah, it said no wind data, but there was a crosswind there, and that really picked up that wing. Some trim here. Flaps coming up. Aviate, navigate, communicate. Had problems before with this autopilot.
Engaging autopilot.
Yeah, I think we've got it. Get back on that. Okay. Looks like we're going good. Grand Cayman traffic, CJX 700, clear runway 26, Grand Cayman traffic. Okay, everything's looking good there. And no matter how often you fly an airplane, there's a reason you should use checklist, because I didn't even turn on my landing lights. Okay, so looks like we've got a bit of a tailwind. And the airspeed is very slow. Okay, so why is that? It's not just the climb. I know I've forgotten something. What was it? There it is. I forgot to pull the handle. Now we can bring the landing gear up. That'll pick up our speed. Yeah, I keep forgetting in this module you gotta unlock that. Okay, so here we are. Good old DC3. This is, of course, Microsoft Flight Simulator. The flight is going well. I think we've got everything figured out. Of course, it went a long time with the landing gear down because in this module, the VSkyLabs aircraft, there is a handle you have to pull to unlock the landing gear so that you can pull it up. And I failed to do that. Another important reason why you really should use checklist. But we're in the air. We're flying along at just over 5,000 feet, 5,400 feet. We were using VSkyLabs. Unfortunately, there are no centers or controllers on right now, so we're just doing our call-outs. So we can use it as practice as we learn to use that sim. But the weather is bad. We got a lot of wind. that could make the landing. We'll have to see what happens once we get to Cancun and see how that's going to affect this aircraft. This particular module has some different flying characteristics that from any other DC3 flying model that I've been in different sims, and so she does some different things. You saw when we took off just how fast she lifted up, and that is not realistic. But anyway, we're going to have a good flight. Hope you're enjoying coming along. So, and the next time that we talk, we'll be on final approach to Cancun. So we'll see you there. Okay, so we've got 12 miles left. Now, on my other two modules with both Microsoft Flight Simulator and my AeroWorks bird, as you fly along, you've got your 4 tanks, 2 mains and 2 auxiliaries. That gives her a range of just over 1,000 miles, say 1,300 miles. So we've got plenty of fuel for this flight, we estimated it. But in this, the VSkyLabs version, you can't switch between main and auxiliary tanks. If you've got it on the left, on your main tanks, you can still use the gas in the auxiliaries, but you can't switch to them. They automatically, once the main tanks are drained, it'll just start using the auxiliary fuel in the tanks. I prefer the other way, being able to switch between the
looks
tanks.
like we're going to have a bit of a crosswind,
but that's just the way this module is. So we deal with it. So it'll be interesting once we see how the flight dynamics are different with this particular module of the DC3. It could make the landing quite interesting, because that takeoff was sure interesting. That surprised me. Okay.
gear coming down. Airfield's in sight.
Autopilot disengaged.
Cancun traffic, CGX 700 on final approach. Cancun traffic.
wind is beating us up a little bit.
Yeah, we're a little high, but that's all right.
And touchdown. Whoa.
Boy, that thing.
That was not a pretty landing, but we're here. Oh no. Okay, they've closed the taxiway down to where the terminal parking area is. So I'm just going to park it right here. Okay there. Well, flight was complete. We did all right. Interesting that the taxiway down to the terminal was blocked. So basically what I was going to have to do is I was going to have to turn around right there on the taxiway, go back out and back taxi down the runway to get to the terminal. But I just decided, you know, we can finish the flight, and everything went well. The flight characteristics with the VSkyLabs DC3 C47 are different than any other DC3 module that I've flown. So that takeoff, so fast. You know, I go 50, 65 feet on the runway and suddenly the aircraft wants to lift. To me, that's a problem. And then landing, before the wheel even touches down, this thing gets squirrely. So I've flown a lot of different tail draggers, but this particular module gives me issues. So, and VSkyLabs makes a good product. They really do. I've flown a couple of them. I've really enjoyed them. The DC3, when the earlier version in Windows or X-Plane 10, I didn't have the problems that I have in this one. So I don't know if it's something to do with the G1000 version. I may have to fly the old classic version just to see if it does the same thing. But this is the newest version they have. So, you know, maybe it just doesn't get along with the latest update of X-Plane. On the other hand, the Microsoft Flight Simulator Airplane Heaven DC3, another excellent module. I really like it. But since Microsoft's latest update, that tail wheel lock issue, which in my feelings has also affected other characteristics of how the aircraft handles and so on, is a real issue. And it's something I'll be letting Airplane Heaven know about, and maybe they can figure a fix, or maybe tell me how to fix it. So, again, my favorite, and which I've flown in other videos, but my favorite module in X-Plane for a DC3 C47 is the AeroWorks freeware mod, which is just wonderful. It's a beautiful module. It works very well. So anyway, we got the flight done. Everything went well, within limits, and we landed safely. So, and that's the most important thing. So with that, I really hope you enjoyed coming along for the ride. I hope you had fun like I did. And until next time, this is BugEater64. And as always, remember, safe flying.